Before someone speaks, before they smile, before they tell you who they are, their mind has already revealed far more than they realize. Part 1. The hidden personalities everyone reveals. Have you ever met someone and felt like you already knew them? Not because they introduced themselves, not because someone told you about them, but because something about the way they stood, spoke, smiled, or even stayed silent made you think, I've met this type of person before. That feeling is not luck. It is not intuition. And it certainly is not magic. It's something far older. Something your brain has been doing your entire life without you even realizing it. Imagine walking into a room full of complete strangers. Within seconds, your attention naturally gravitates toward one person. Another makes you cautious. Someone else immediately feels trustworthy, while another somehow seems impossible to read. Why? Because beneath every personality lies a deeper psychological blueprint, a hidden pattern that quietly shapes the way people think, speak, love, manipulate, lead, and protect themselves. Carl Jung believed these patterns were universal. He called them archetypes. And once you learn to recognize them, you stop seeing people as random collections of habits. You begin seeing the invisible forces driving their behavior. That's when conversations change. Relationships become clearer. Manipulation becomes easier to detect. And people who once seemed unpredictable suddenly become surprisingly readable. But here's the warning. This knowledge is not about putting people into neat little boxes. Real human beings are infinitely more complex than that. Instead, archetypes act like psychological fingerprints. They're recurring patterns, ancient mental templates that influence nearly every decision we make without us consciously noticing. Most people spend years trying to understand someone's personality through endless conversations. You'll learn to notice clues within minutes. Not because you'll become psychic, but because you'll finally understand what most people have been unconsciously broadcasting all along. Here's something fascinating. Think about every unforgettable character you've ever seen in movies. The fearless hero, the wise mentor, the charming trickster, the ruthless ruler, the innocent dreamer. Different stories, different cultures, different centuries, yet somehow they all feel familiar. That's exactly what fascinated Jung. He believed these characters exist not only in fiction, but inside every one of us. They're woven into the human mind itself. Each archetype carries its own fears, its own desires, its own strengths, and its own blind spots. The moment you recognize which one is taking control, predicting someone's reactions becomes dramatically easier. Imagine two people receiving the exact same criticism. One immediately becomes defensive, another quietly reflects before responding. A third laughs it off. A fourth turns the criticism into motivation. The event is identical. The psychological pattern interpreting it is completely different. That's what you're really reading. Not the person, but the lens through which they experience reality. And once you understand the lens, everything starts making sense. Now, before we go any further, there's one myth we need to destroy. People often believe personalities are fixed, that someone simply is confident, or shy, or selfish, or kind. Jung disagreed. He believed we're constantly shifting between different psychological energies depending on the situation we're in. The confident executive might become an anxious child around their parents. The quiet introvert may transform into an inspiring leader when protecting someone they love. The caring friend may become cold and calculating when betrayed. The archetype doesn't disappear. It simply changes who's sitting in the driver's seat. And that's exactly why learning archetypes is so powerful. Instead of judging isolated behaviors, you begin recognizing recurring patterns. Patterns are much harder to fake. That's also why some people leave such powerful first impressions. You've probably experienced this without realizing it. Someone walks into the room, and everyone pays attention before they've even spoken. Another person instantly makes everyone feel safe. Another creates excitement. Another creates tension. Very little of this has to do with physical appearance. It's a psychological presence. An archetype quietly expressing itself through body language, emotional energy, and behavior. Most people notice the effect. Very few understand the cause. Today, that changes. By the end of this video, you'll begin spotting these hidden psychological signatures in everyday conversations. Friends, family, co-workers, strangers, even yourself. Because here's the twist almost nobody expects. The hardest person to read is often the one staring back at you in the mirror. Understanding others always begins with understanding yourself. And that brings us to the first archetype, perhaps the most misunderstood of them all. It doesn't seek attention. It doesn't crave power. It doesn't try to impress anyone. Yet it silently shapes almost every relationship you'll ever have. Jung called it the persona. And once you understand why people wear psychological masks, you'll never look at another smile the same way again. In part 2, we'll dive into the persona, the shadow, and the subtle cues that reveal what people are hiding, even when they're trying their hardest to appear authentic. These concepts form the foundation of reading people through Jungian psychology.